Hey everyone, welcome to Ask Toya. This is a very, very special Ask Toya because we have our alumni, Joe Rao, who was last year's valedictorian. And Joe's going to speak to us about his experience since he's left Tiedemann.
We are going to discuss perfectionism. And we wanted to bring it to everyone to understand that it's a wonderful thing, and it's also sometimes a hard thing to deal with. But it can work out to be a wonderful thing, because look at how it happened for Joe. And that's why we loved having him join us today. So I'm going to switch it over to Joanne and let her just kind of bring up the topic and discuss a little bit about what we're talking about today.
This concept of perfectionism, it can be a blessing and a curse. And I had mentioned on last week's call how if we really look at perfectionism and the qualities inherent within it, that we find often excellence, we find drive, we find wanting to get things right.
I want everyone to think about for just a second what the word perfect means to you. Just for a second. Is it realistic? Does it exist, really? Or is it just fantasy and people are stressing over that term? Because a lot of people use the word perfect, especially in that quote, if you guys know this quote, practice makes perfect, right? So perfect is a fantasy word. There was no such thing as perfectionism. It shouldn't even exist in the dictionary. Okay? Me, I've been in a lot of real world situations, especially in high school and middle school, elementary school. I've been there when I used to play baseball, when I used to play basketball, when I used to play gym class, when I used to try to get everything done and, be the smartest, like know it all, kind of like it's an ego, it's arrogance. And you're like, oh, I want to get all A's, boom, 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 A. Yeah, I get that. So yes, this is on the valedictorian. Hello. Yeah, I've been getting mostly A's, like overall, yeah, all A's. In college, I got 1B in one class my first semester, which was English 101. It was very difficult. It was stressful. Like I was so busy. Like I was on 12 credits in my first semester. It was a lot. Like this professor, he was like so hard on us. He was strict. He was like, again, it's like I used his advice, like again, like to have this perfectionist mentality to take over me, and it makes me more anxious and depressed at some point. Yeah, it's very hard. Like when I get into situations like this, it gets hard for me to cope. It gets me so lost. It gets me very stuck. It gets me out of place. Like I don't know what else to do. I don't know how to figure this out.
So if I might interrupt for just a moment, is that okay?
Sure.
So first of all, I just want to just acknowledge and honor you. Thank you for sharing this, because it's not always easy to talk about areas where we feel vulnerable. And you're doing such a service to those people who are listening. What I have found in my coaching practice, whether it is men, women, girls, boys, that we all struggle to some degree with this idea of perfectionism. And from what I hear you saying, that you've had a lot of experience around it, be it in academics or in sports. And what I'm hearing is valedictorian and mostly A's. And I'm hearing your reflection on working really hard and having it be a hard experience to accomplish the goals that you set out for yourself. But at the same time, like I was saying earlier, if we were to kind of flip that coin, that perfectionism, which has produced so much good in your life, has also created moments or a state of being anxious or depressed, making it really hard to cope. So I just want to check in with you and get a sense of whether I've kind of captured what your sentiments are.
What do you mean sentiments?
If I've caught what you're trying to convey, this idea that perfectionism, your experience of perfectionism, while it's produced great things, being a valedictorian and getting mostly A's or all A's, that it's also had that piece that has led you to feeling anxious or depressed or being in situations where it's hard to cope.
I always like have this goal of like having a successful life. Like I try to put things in like high standards, high expectations, higher goals, but some of them maybe not realistic enough. Some of them it's realistic, which I can achieve like in the short term.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
In the long term, like if it's like I have a goal and it's like anxious, like thinking about it, and like, or I'm depressed that I don't have it, and it's like, but it's like way too far up, like later on in life, and it's like it's like it's overwhelming, like it's too much to think about. Like I'm not ready for it yet. It's at a way higher level. So what I do, what I would do is like try to like bring it down and try to again stay in the present.
Yeah, so I'm hearing a strategy around managing it. So I'm hearing that you set these goals, and sometimes, you know, we set big goals and they might feel like they're not within reach. But setting goals, whether big or small, when we do that with the knowledge of knowing, the expectation of knowing that it's okay to set goals and not necessarily to reach every goal, because we change, our perspectives change as we get older and as we move on our journey, and other things may become more important. So given that you have a lot of experience, a lot of life experience around this, what are some ways you use now to manage the perfectionism that you're very well aware of?
So right now, I recently developed new coping skills, which is like writing down positive affirmations. I think I have it right here. If I can show you, if you don't mind.
All right, love it.
Let me know if you guys can clearly see this.
I can make out a little bit. Can you hold that up again a little bit closer?
Sure.
I am, oh, every time I speak, I end up losing you, the connection of seeing what you have written. But I think I saw I am handsome enough. Is that true? Love it if it is.
I can read it for you guys, actually. Yeah, it's easier. So I wrote to just today, which was something new. My positive affirmations: I am handsome enough. I am smart enough. I'm always motivated to learn. I'm very teachable or coachable. I'm not afraid to stumble in order to grow. I'm always committed to work on or learn anything I'm looking forward to achieve. I'm stylish just the way I am. I'm nice enough. I'm kind enough. I'm helpful enough. I'm perseverant. I'm a role model for other people. I'm funny in my own way. I'm responsible enough. I'm friendly enough. I put in parentheses, always smiling. Smiling makes me more approachable. I'll get into that deeper into that later on. I'm strong enough. I'm healthy. I'm fit. I'm organized. I'm respectful. I'm hardworking. I'm fit. I smell good. I have amazing hygiene. I validate myself instead of others. It's part of self-esteem. And I'm confident enough, which I'm confident enough to say these things about myself.
Beautiful. Like, you're the bomb. That's what you are. So,
That's awesome. I really love that.
and
That
you know
was
what, Joe?
great.
Thank you.
I've heard so much of
Yes.
the enough. You know, I am enough. And what that tells me, and actually I'm not even going to put words in your mouth, I want to ask you, how has this helped you, affirming that you are enough in all of these different ways, in your style, in your body, in your mind, in your perspective of the world? How has affirming those qualities and traits about you, how has that been helpful to you?
Well, well, to be honest, I never did this on my own. So right now, like, I had to share this with you guys. Recently, I've been currently visiting a social skills coach, because just that's another top part to discuss about perfectionism. Because, like, for me, I have trouble socializing. I have trouble getting other people's attention. I have trouble making friends, or sometimes, like, I worry about about the being popular and being cool and all that stuff. So yeah, I'll get back to that just a moment. So to answer your question fully, so I used her. She not only she uses, like, social skills coaching, she also uses stress management, and she uses, like, she sent me positive affirmations from my phone. I mean, to my phone, text message, and I use that these positive affirmations to make it my own, and which is what I showed to you guys just now.
Beautiful. And making it your own, doing it in your own way, and receiving the help around this. Again, like, that's a skill set in and of itself, to be able to receive support, because oftentimes perfectionists put that pressure on themselves to figure things out by themselves. Like, they have to get it right, and they got to get it right away. And again, when you don't have any wiggle room for getting it wrong, I think we spoke a bit about this last week, then we miss out on an opportunity to learn something that we otherwise would have learned. When we don't make mistakes, when we don't, some people use the term fail. I like to use the term feedback. But when we don't put ourselves in situations to get it a little bit wrong or a little bit off, we miss out on some opportunities to learn a different way of doing things. And I see you nodding your head, like, that perfectionist mentality is, get it right. This is the way. There's only one right way. There's no room for doing it that might define it's the wrong way. So again, hearing you say, like, I recognize where I need help. I've made a choice to receive support around that. I'm putting these positive affirmations together day to day in a way that it makes it my own, versus, what anyone else might think, right? It's your way, which is the right way for you. So really, really good job on doing that. That's such an important.
Definitely.
I appreciate it.
So if anyone else wants to chime in, please do.
I am so proud of you. Joe, you have come such a long way. And the fact, like Joanne said, you are open to accepting help. And I loved all of your affirmations. They were so perfect, and they're perfect for you. So for me, it is just, I cannot begin to tell you how proud I am of you. So this particular Zoom is going to be so helpful to so many people. I'm getting very choked up just thinking about it. So thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Beautiful.
No problem.
Joe, how might you think other kids or other adults might benefit from allowing themselves to loosen the grip on the perfectionism, on getting it right all the time? And you can, of course, speak from your own experience, how you have benefited from loosening the grip on having to get it right.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I've been at Tigerman. I had been in Tigerman for years, like since 2006. It's been 13 years. Yeah, I've known Miss Davis since then. So yeah, since then, like I had trouble advocating. I had trouble using my words. I had trouble, like I said before, making friends with other people. Like I felt many times I feel isolated or lonely and all that. and from that point on to like around at the end of middle school, like I knew it was the problem, but like I just wasn't aware of it. I wasn't aware because again, like I don't have enough social experience. Like I only had academic smarts, academic experience, maybe some baseball experience, and cooperating and working and da 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 da. So for socializing, yeah, like I've been like very, very, very quiet. Like mostly like I wouldn't like jump in the conversation or anything, like and always have like a serious face, not smiling, not seeming interested. And and I mostly I would only talk when they would start talking to me during the time. And in high school, that's when the start of freshman year, that's when I really became aware of it, really aware. Like I was still very quiet, like I wasn't motivated, like I was lost, I was stuck. but however,
Joe, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to capture something that you're speaking directly towards, because you're describing this kind of awareness, this acute awareness, and oftentimes we can't change anything if we don't have the awareness about ourselves. So in kind of speaking to what was it that made you aware? What did you latch on to that said something needs to change? Because if someone else is struggling, what kind of tips can you give them so that they can identify in themselves that, yeah, this is not working for me, that something needs to change?
it's mostly like we would become aware if we're like going through changes, like big transition changes, like you just, for example, if you graduated from high school, just went to college, that's a big change. If you're at like a higher level, more advanced learning environment, for example, or you're meeting newer people that you don't know at a different place. Yeah, that's where, yeah, for me, that's how I became like aware of things like this for me, anything academic or socially. And and that's when like kids and like me or other people, like we would that's when we would start to like notice what's going on and notice what we've been going through from day one until now. And we would think like, oh, we really want to make changes for the better on this, because this is having a very big hit on me.
Yeah, and that big hit on you, what I'm hearing you say is that you developed this awareness of your triggers, and the triggers were around change. So this awareness that if I'm in this, whatever it looks like for change, whether it's, you know, going from high school to college or otherwise, I know change can trigger me in a way that would have me feeling, and that's where I want to pick up, because you said it hit on you big. what does that mean? It hit on you big. So if someone else listening were in your body or in your head, what is it that they would be feeling based on your experience having a trigger?
Well, during that time, that's when I really caught myself being depressed.
Mm.
I caught depression there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was like really anxious, like when I was during my childhood, like throughout baseball. Like I was very anxious in baseball, and I was always like whining, complain, especially in academically during one of those times. It may be annoying, but in high school when I was like aware of, you know, socializing, for example, that's from what that hit on me big. Like it's a hit on me that just shut me down like completely. That's what I felt like.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, like at first I didn't understand, like until one of my high school counselors taught me about balancing things out. Like I was like really only focused on like academics. Like it's the most important, and socializing is like the least important.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking like socializing is like like the least important, because a lot of people think it's not that important, and like it should be like that simple. You know, many extroverts, many like they would like probably like respond to me, like if I would ask them, like they would just be like what's so hard about it, just make them laugh, just you know, just approach them, just say something that would, you know, trigger something, and okay, they'll follow you. But they don't understand, like it's difficult for people like us who are dealing with it.
Does it sound like a risk? Like it's taking a risk to put yourself in a position to approach someone or to make someone laugh? Does it sound like a risk?
Yeah, like I've been approaching people like especially in college since like I think the end of high school, because I see during high school like I sometimes I care, but I didn't care because it was a small school, and and there weren't that much girls in the high school, so I'm like whatever. But in college, I'm like okay, boom, we got it.
I love it. I love it.
That's awesome. And so it sounds like kind of to backtrack a little bit, what I'm hearing is that number one, tuning into this awareness around triggers, right? In your case, having there be change, right? That can trigger something's going on. And in your experience, it can, as you said, hit you hard, have you feeling depressed or maybe wanting to withdraw, to shut down. Yes?
Yeah.
And then having that next step, knowing like this isn't how I want to live. Academics are important, but so is social life, and so is sports. So I would like to receive help. I can put myself in a position, number one, to ask for help. Number two, to actually receive that help, which is a saying yes to yourself, right?
Yeah.
To get empowered through the support of others, because we can't always do it on our own. And therein lies the rub, because perfectionists want to do it on their own. They want to make it all okay. So really great on your part. And that last piece there of saying, okay, well, in receiving that support, what is it that I can do for myself that will be more empowering? And it sounds like these positive affirmations have done a lot to support you in feeling empowered, and then taking some risks, recognizing it's okay to be vulnerable. I can take some risks. I can get it wrong, perhaps, because that's how you learn. Someone wrote in the chat, Stephen, I don't strive for perfection. I strive to do. The thing is to give it a try and learn from the process. This makes projects much less stressful. So what I'm hearing there is letting go of the story that it has to be right, it has to be perfect, creates so much more freedom, creates so much more ease, and lifts the pressure, which then often taps into more creativity in the brain to explore more. So it's kind of like having that that trigger to explore more, that willingness or vulnerability to take risks, to know, yeah, sometimes we get it wrong. I mean, this is the essence of science, right? Trial and error. We can get it wrong until we figure out how to get it right. And isn't it
Right.
awesome to not have to get it right away, especially when exploring new areas? So if you've never people before in that way, it's new. Yeah, I could see how it would feel like, ooh, that whatever it may be in the body that you feel. Some people feel throat closing or chest being heavy because we have that thought like, oh, I might.
Bumps, your body's shaking.
Yeah, and this very much brings up the point that I want everyone to take away, that when we have thoughts, that says like, oh, I might get rejected, I might sound stupid, I might look funny doing that. Those are the tapes that play over and over, and sometimes louder and louder, right?
Yeah.
But when we can get to that place, like I said, of being vulnerable and taking risks so that we can find out we can have a different experience, that what we sometimes say in our head is just a story. It's just a story. But you can live into a new experience when you can be vulnerable, take some risks, and be okay with having it play out not the way you planned. There can be a great joy and a freedom in that. So I'm curious, with what I've said, has there been kind of a contrast that you've picked up on to compare your high school experience with your college experience? Because my sense is that you've stepped into some more freedom. So I'm just wondering, in your body, are you experiencing life a little bit differently?
Yeah, I've made from what I noticed, I made like changes for the better since like high school. Yeah, I remember I'm way much more social or smiling more than I was like 5 years ago. Because 5 years ago I was just whatever, like not even joining in the conversation, just sitting there like with a disinterested body language. Me having so much negative thoughts. I could still get them today, but like the negative thoughts, like I didn't know how to cope with. Like until I went to see an outside therapist, which I do see now. Which I currently see a social skills coach today, which I just started doing. When I met some high school counselors that gave me some coping tips to deal with these ridiculous negative thoughts that make me, anxious and depressed.
Joe, I have a quick question. Is there anything that you have learned now that you would have told yourself or tell someone that's currently in that situation, that you've learned that you feel like, basically, you've conquered a lot of things now that you're kind of seeing it from the outside? You're in the college life, you're not in high school, you're not in elementary school, you're not in middle school, so life is a little different for you. Like, is there something that you would be able to tell them to say, like, don't stress about it, things are going to get better, that kind of, what did you get out of it? Like, how do you feel? Is there something you would tell your younger self?
Yeah, I would tell my younger self, or like kids who are that age, who are dealing with this, that like it's like they have to have some faith. They have to but they're not in this alone. Like there's like no person that's like the only one going through this. Like there's many other kids dealing with anything similar to what I'm going through. So they just have to like take it a little more serious. They have to like go advocate for themselves. They have to like go to teachers for help to like to pass their Regents exams or do better in to get a better GPA, or to see their counselors for help in with their mental health issues, instead of like sitting there and being like, oh, I'm fine, then you boom, you're having so much temper tantrums, which like I don't want to make everyone comfortable, but I feel like I have to share this because I want everyone to understand that like there are kids like that are like struggling here and there, like academically, some people struggling mentally, some people struggling like socially, some people that are like that like don't get enough attention and they act out inappropriately. And like for me, like I see like there's people's like reactions that they don't like them. They're they what's wrong with this kid? He like I get it. It's a scary, like they're looking at that person as like a monster and he's not approachable, right? So like, but for me, like I'm looking at it a different way, that like he's having a hard time. He just wants attention, right? And but there's people that need to be sensitive to issues like this. They need to really take some time to identify what's going on. Like we don't want this to happen like constantly. We want some progress at least. We want some improvements. We want to we got to figure something out, especially people who are like left back. A friend of mine I know, my classmate, she's left back in high school. Like she doesn't feel welcome to go to school. Like she's absent a lot. She rarely comes in here. She struggling academically, even though she's smart a certain way. She has trouble making friends. She's very passive. But like so there's some people that are like they're doing well in academically, but they're alone and have trouble balancing things out. And there are some people that are like struggling academically, but some people they just like they don't care, and they're making they're like social butterflies, like forget about it. And there's some people that are like kind of like they're able to cope, they're able to balance things out. But I'm just saying this because like none of us are perfect. The real world is not perfect. And from that example, like we need to take some time to like have people be sensitive, or friends, colleagues, associates, some professionals that need to be sensitive about this to identify and figure this out. So to answer your question, Jami, to like give advice to these kids is like just be sensitive and be aware of what's going on in you, like and like just have some faith. Like this is what I just did, but I may have some support from other people to help me, advocate for myself. But that's what they should be thinking about on their own as well. Like they should advocate for themselves. They should go to other teachers or other TAs who are in their classrooms and have conversations with them about what they're going through and what steps they need to take to make progress, to at least learn something, at least one thing at a time, and to solve these issues. So I'm from and also take practice in anything, whatever's hitting you the whole time. And over time, things are going to get better little by little. Things are going to get better little by little. But it doesn't matter if you're getting some relapses, if you fail the Regents exam again, if you still had a little rough GPA, but it went up a little bit. But I know it's uncomfortable, it sucks, it's embarrassing, but it doesn't matter how many times you make mistakes or how many times you had tough days on other people or on yourself. What matters is if you stay determined, motivated, and keep going, keep moving forward from these mistakes you're making, no matter what. And that's what I think is going to take you to better growth. So I'm sorry if I said this too long, but I really wanted to share this with you guys so everyone can be sensitive about this and connect to what's going on.
Beautiful. Joe, you
Joseph,
said something.
it was beautiful what you said. It made me think of our current students, especially our seniors. Their world has been turned upside down. I think what you have just shared will make it so much easier for them. You know, and it made me think of certain students who are having issues, and your sharing that is going to be able to help them because they don't have prom, they don't have, everything has changed for them. So some of those students, like you said, they may not know how to reach out, but listening to you will help them, will give them the courage to reach out and let people know, I'm having an issue. Can you help me? So thank you for sharing that.
Anytime, anytime.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I asked you that question. Sorry, I'm like really blurry.
What were you thinking?
I was thinking that whole thing that you were just talking about, how it really is kind of eye-opening after the fact. A lot of times when you're in the midst of things, it's scary, it's unknown, and you think that you're the only one going through it.
Yes.
So that's why I asked that question, because it's to see it on the other side, like you're out of that direct, you know, high school life or middle school life. You know, it's a different life. You're in something different. It's scary as in its own right, college, but it's also something that you've already conquered. In you could see kind of your past. Like, okay, well, during my past, I was scared. Why was I scared? Or why was this such an issue for me? Or why, you know, why was I dealing with certain things and scared to speak up? But now that you're on the other side, it's like, now I understand that speaking up really does help. It might be a little scary, but doing that makes me all that better a person, and stronger, right? So I really love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I think you said some beautiful things in there.
Yes.
Listen, I'm always here for you guys. Like I really support Tigerman. I really do. I really miss the school. And I want to make sure you guys are doing well, and especially during this quarantine, and even after, I want to make sure everyone's well and healthy and happy with what they're doing. Not only the kids, the staff as well, even the administration, even the board.
Joe, you're such a shining example of someone who has taken perfectionism and brought forth the excellence within it, but has let go of what can be very restrictive about it. And something you said a few moments ago so clearly demonstrates that. You said, you know, it doesn't matter how many times you make mistakes. What matters is you keep moving forward, you keep trying. That's not what a perfectionist typically says.
Yes.
You know, you've moved past that perfectionism, the refinement of perfectionism, you know, to recognize, like, yeah, make mistakes. It's not failure, it's feedback. That's how you learn. And if you don't know where to start, because many of us don't, adults don't know how to start.
Yeah.
But it starts with the willingness to ask for help, to receive help, and learn how to take risks by being vulnerable. And you have done that so well, and, you know, added on that what's also really helpful and supportive of people struggling are those people having an understanding. You know, we're all unique, we're all struggling with different things, whether you're in high school, middle school, college, you know, whether you're struggling academically or socially, we're all in different, you know, at different places on our own journeys. And if people around us who don't know what's going on could be compassionate, that would be so wonderful. And I think that compassion starts with the individual. And you've demonstrated, like, the self-compassion through the affirmations, you know, I am handsome, I am fun, I am strong, I am fit. You're feeding yourself heavy, heavy, heavy doses of compassion. which allow you to show up in the world as a much more compassionate human being, recognizing that we can make mistakes and that's okay, because that is called progress, not perfection.
Yeah.
Really
Like,
well done.
yeah, I understand, like, it can be frustrating for especially me, like like for example, like if I've been constantly like rejected by girls in college, which I have, but it's all part of the game. But like I maybe, or some people may like they taken the sixth time passing the whatever regis they had to pass, and they're failing and failing and failing, or they're having trouble bringing up their GPA to a safe shape level, and they're still in that dark place, and it may be frustrating that they're like maybe like making little progress, but it's not enough, like, which I've been there, but like, so, but since like they like me, since I've been there like that, um I'm thinking like, this is what I'm gonna have to do to I need someone to help me figure this out. I need some help. That's why I went to a social skills coach. That's why I went to an outside therapist a couple years ago, because I was struggling with my anxiety and self-esteem, and balancing these thoughts for like, and trouble passing the global history regions. And it was like just academic, more important than socializing, but like, but understanding that, but whatever I need to improve is important as well. That's what I gotta understand. So,
Awareness, right? As Jamie just wrote in the chat, it's all about self-awareness rather than getting busier and trying harder, because we miss the awareness. We miss so much of what, you know, you've really spotlighted, like what tells us we're feeling that way, how we might not feel that way. I have one more question for you, and this is, what good things might happen? What good things might be in your future as somebody who has learned to loosen the grip on perfectionism?
can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah. So as somebody who has, and is still learning, you've done an amazing job, but we're all on this journey. So as someone who has overcome and will continue to overcome perfectionism, what good things in your future might come from that?
Um, to be honest, I may still not fully get the question yet. Can you like give me an example at least?
Yeah, sometimes when we let go of that which holds us back, it allows us to step into a place where we never would have been before because we've been held back.
Right.
And we're able to kind of take the weight off, and we're able to be okay with getting it wrong and taking risks.
Yeah.
It allows us to move forward into what I like to term adventure land versus uncertainty. Adventure land with some optimism, enthusiasm, and confidence.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a loaded question because
Yeah, I agree.
right? You step into a future of adventure, and my gosh, what can you do with that? It's like anything I want. Here, whether you're still involved with sports, helping other people as you're doing today, you know, it kind of like blows the lid off of limitations. That you can step into whatever it is you want, knowing that you can get it wrong and be just fine. You can take chances and be just fine. And in the process, explore brand new things that might have you living a much more fulfilling and enjoyable life. I think you're demonstrating that right now, stepping into college and approaching girls. Like, you may step in front of the woman of your dreams. Who knows, right? Isn't that an exciting prospect? But, you know, point being that it creates some space and freedom for you to step into the future that you want to have, whatever that is, whatever that looks like. You get to live it on your terms. And isn't that a good feeling?
Yeah, from what you said and from that question, that loading question, like it's hard for me to answer that because first of all, I'm 19 years old.
Yeah.
Even though, despite going a long way, but I have a long way to go.
Yeah.
I'm in college. I'm right. Yeah, I'm studying exercise science, which, just in case you all don't know, and looking to be a phys ed teacher mostly, and possibly personal training on the side. And I'm trying and I'm just getting started in the real world. I'm there's a lot of real life experiences that I have to take a look at and look forward to and see what I can commitment from now on, and try to reach some goals of what I committed to. So yeah.
I think he answered it.
He did. He said,
Sky's the limit. The sky's the limit.
I have options. I have
Yeah.
options, and I can go for something. And if I want, I could go for something else. I could change my mind. I could gather feedback along the way so I can figure out exactly what my true path is. It doesn't have to be a straight line, perfectly straight. It can wind and turn and circle back and move forward. Like,
Yeah.
this is the freedom you can enjoy. That it doesn't have to be the A to Z one way to go. You can enjoy this journey wherever it takes you, knowing on the inside you're figuring it out. You don't have to know. It doesn't have to be the perfect. You can figure it out as you go and enjoy the freedom that it brings.
Yeah. I was about to say, during my English 102 class, I wanted to bring up Picking Cotton, if you guys have read it. If you guys know that this lady, Jennifer Thompson, who was part of this wrongful conviction, was but Ronald Cotton was wrongfully convicted for a sexual rape crime, but it wasn't him. It was Bobby Poole. I don't know if you guys know it. You probably. So Jennifer, she was. I saw this video. Jennifer was raped before. She was in the college, my college, in 2016, and she was mentioning that we don't choose the journey. The journey picks us. The journey, we have to follow along with what certain events in life take us along the way, and which is what happened to Jennifer, because she said she was at first she was going to be a physical therapist. She was about to graduate a 4.0 valedictorian in some college in North Carolina, and from that rape incident, now, and she was years later, she's in having a job from career in criminal justice, which can help exonerate wrongfully convicted individuals. So yeah, that's why I wanted to bring that up, since
I love that you did say that, because that is life, or the universe, or however you want to view it, that we sometimes get these curveballs that we can't make sense of. We don't make sense of. It's kind of not part of our plan that we thought we had. And it could end up sending us on a whole different course. And I love, I'm a physical therapist. I'm a personal trainer. I've had a very long and winding career path that has landed me as a health coach and life coach, doing the most important, impactful work I've ever done. And in the middle of that, I've been on the business side of fitness and franchising. So I set on a path out of college with a certain, mindset of what I was going to do with my life. And what I can look back on, what I could really reflect on, is that how each turn just kept building this bank of experience and knowledge, a certain amount of wisdom, all of this together to keep kind of like, the tide rising, pushing me forward towards whatever would be next. And now I've landed in, here with you. And I had found it hard to go up to a person, look at you, commanding
Yes.
the respect, the appreciation. That's all, a bunch of people right now, right here, and people who will see this recording, like, wow, look at how far you've come in such
Yes.
a period of time. To put yourself out there and talk about something that's not necessarily easy and might feel a little bit vulnerable for you. But man, look at you. Maybe you're going to be a speaker, a motivational
Yes.
speaker. Who
That's
knows, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can see myself doing that.
I could see you doing that. And you're going to have your experience to draw upon way back in high school, when the time comes. That's going to make you someone who comes across as truly authentic, because you are. And these struggles, often there's a term about the med really being the messenger. So what feels hard is really the gift, because it's allowing you to carry that experience forward, potentially to help other people, which you've done today.
That's for sure. You have come such a long way. I remember the very first time I laid eyes on you, you were at the talent show and you were singing, "You Are So Beautiful." I will never forget that. And look where you are now. So like Joanne said, I watch Good Morning America, and Robin Robbins says, "Make your mess your message." And that is what you're doing. You are encouraging so many people, not just students, but adults, because I have learned so much just from this interaction, how wonderful you have become and what you're going to do in the future. So I cannot begin to tell you how proud I am of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yay, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. I think that was really great. Is there anything you want to wrap up? Any last thoughts that you have?
Yeah, I also wanted to mention about like how again from last week, for some people who hadn't heard, I struggled in high school academically a little bit. I may have a high GPA, but I struggled to pass a couple of Regents exams, which is like, that put a lot of pressure on me. So these couple of Regents exams were global history and English. So I passed living environment and math on the first try, and global history, it was a nightmare. Like, I had trouble with time management, right? And I failed the first time. Like, it was during my sophomore year, and then like I was trying to go for again the second time, like, because it was like so hard. It's a lot of facts to remember, and and I didn't get it the second time, and then I got so down on myself. And then Mr. Wagner, who was a global history teacher at the time, he thinks I could do it. He wanted me to try again, so I did, and and I was able to do it. I passed it finally. It took my whole sophomore year to pass it, and so for English, it took me 3 attempts to pass as well. Yeah, the first attempt was during the summer of junior year, and for that, I didn't get it. Like, it's more of like not memory. It's more of like skillful writing and skillful reading, right, and skillful of answering questions. That's what made it so hard. So after that, I tried for a second time on January, and I thought I thought I was ready, but it was a worse score than before. So after that, I'm like, I was like drained mentally. It was like, I'm done. It's all over. Like I was lost. I didn't know what else to do. So like And a few months later, I think it was after after like some store event. I think I was working for Tommy Hilfiger at the time, I think. And Mr. Wagner, he talked to me the day after that. I think it was the fashion show, and he was trying to convince me to take it just one last time. Like, he gave me a boost, a little motivational boost, or a convincing boost to think about it. He was just like, just take it one more time. Just do the best as you can. And if you get it, you got it. Good for you. If you don't, you don't. Like, it's about like just accept what you already put effort to, and whatever results you got from these efforts, and whatever you do, whatever you get, just accept it and walk out of the school gradually with your head held high. So a few months later, I told Miss Walker that I'm going to take the English Regents again, and I told a few people who convinced me. Mr. Weiner convinced me, so I told him, and Miss West, my TA, she heard the conversation, and they were like happy to hear it. Like, they thought I made the right decision.
Joe?
Plus, I had nothing to lose. So yeah, and the third time, like, I just made it. I just got it. I got a Regents diploma just in time, plus giving this valedictorian speech.
Fantastic. Joe, I want to thank you on behalf of everybody for sharing your story and inspiring.
Yes.
You know, you are the definition of persistence, which is, in contrast to perfection, which can be real hard, as you know. So thank you so much for sharing your story. So thank you again. Thank you to everybody here.
Take care, Joanne.
Thanks, Joanne.
Bye-bye.
Take care, Joanne.
And
Joe, thanks again.
Thank you for joining us this week for Ask Toya. We are meeting every Tuesday at 1:30. Please join us. We had a wonderful meeting, a Zoom meeting today, but we're looking forward to having more. And if you have any suggestions for topics, please don't hesitate to let us know. Thank you, and I will see you next week.